In this video, I will show you 3 simple tricks to calculate just like a grandmaster does, and how to do this in games where it counts rather than just in puzzles where you know that there's a good move. The last trick is definitely not what most people would expect, so I advise you to stay tuned. Now the first trick tries to raise your in-game tactics level to your tactics training level, which is often about 500 elo points higher, if not even more. This is also why the advice to just solve more puzzles, bro, does not really work because it doesn't consider the whole picture. You become actually better in games when you make better moves in the games, not in situations where you know that there's a good move and where you know, okay, it's got to be this sacrifice, for example. So what I want you to do is, in games, I want you to treat every in-game move like a puzzle. What does that mean? With every move that you do, I want you to scan for CCA, which is checks, captures, and attacks. For example, consider this position. Black takes on d3 the hanging bishop, right? What are checks, captures, and attacks? Well, there's one attack going on, which is taking this rook. This is also the capture. Do we have a check? Well, we have checks, but this would just lose our queen. Does this move come with anything bad? Doesn't look like it. Our queen is centralized, so the position of our queen is improved actually. Also, we then attack the bishop. White played instead rook d1, and you can see the analysis saying it was a miss. What white should have done is taking the hanging rook. That is, white should have scanned for CCA, checks, captures, and attacks. In the same game, when white moves his queen to c7, we can see that black took the free bishop. This is a capture, which is free, but it's still a miss. Why is it? Well, let's check again. Checks, captures, and attacks. Black saw the capture, but didn't consider this attack, because rook c8 actually wins the queen. I used to think that chess masters would naturally rarely blunder and naturally find the tactics, but even for them, it is actually an active thing to do with every single move. That's why I recommend the CCA with every move that you do. That's just what masters do as well. Larry Rossman from Gotham Chess or Magnus Carlsen, when they move and they will talk about this, they will always consider the threats from the opponent, including the tactics that the opponent is currently setting up. You will hear them say, okay, this check, for example, works, or this doesn't work because, but they always consider it. So I want you to do it just the same. Well, you can, of course, with every move in game, ask for checks, captures, and attacks. Therefore, treat every move just like a puzzle. You, of course, also have to improve your puzzle solving ability in order to find better moves with checks, captures, and attacks. Consider this position. When solving puzzles, I want you to consider all the possibilities in your chess puzzle training. Now, I don't know if you know what's the winning move. I'm just going to tell you here. It's sacrificing the rook with rook takes e6. In the puzzle, black takes back, and then rook takes e6 follows. Now it's king f7, and because there's no mate here, there's rook takes d6, which will win further material because black can actually not save the queen, because after a move like this, there's a forced mating pattern with this check, this as the only king move remaining, queen e2 check, and now if the king moves here, then this is checkmate in one, and if the king moves here, the other possibility, this is checkmate in one as well. What I've just shown you is a solution to a puzzle. When solving the puzzles in order to improve the right way, you actually have to understand each reaction of the opponent in order to improve your underpinned kind of mental representation of the game of chess as much as possible. Now, if we take, why would black not just play this king move, for example? You've got to be able to answer these questions so that in future situations you will actually have a bigger base knowledge, and with that in games, because of these more developmental representations of the game, you will be able to make better moves. Actually, I'm not going to tell you why king to d8 is a worse move than taking with the pawn. Feel free to write this in the comments explaining why it's like this, but I warn you, it's actually pretty hard and you will have to calculate a lot of the moves ahead. But that's how you improve your puzzle rating, and together with the first trick, you will actually make better tactical moves, not just in the puzzles, but then also in the games. So you get better at puzzles and better at tactics in games with the first 2 tricks. Now we come to the promised trick number 3, which is to use software in order to track your training. Specifically for puzzles, for example in my case, I've noticed that reflecting the puzzles actually makes a lot of sense for me. I do this in Notion and I have a reflections database. I created the tactics solving principles. And as you can see, I've pinned it. I've created this today, so let's mark this. And I've written one thing that I've noticed. Over time, I can add things, but here in this position, I actually did the wrong move. Even though I got the idea right, which is to threaten checkmate with rook e2, I've basically thought that this move would then deliver the checkmate. And I arrived at this solution that I should always double check before submitting my answer. And so this is one principle, and I'm sure you can come up with others for you as well. For example, to always calculate until the end rather than guessing the solution, because this move has got to be it, which, as we've talked about, is not the same as actually improving at the game of chess in the games rather than just in the puzzles. But it's not just the reflection, it's also the training. You can see how I've done a little bit of chess training for the last few days. And every day that I do that, I can create a new page. It will automatically be today, but I've done this already for today, so we can delete this. And I can mark what I've done. Now, in this case, I've done tactics today, and I've solved quite a bit of tactics. So did I become better? Did I improve my understanding of the game, and specifically of tactics? Yeah, sure. Not a lot, but yes, I did. And this way I actually keep myself accountable. Do I actually do things regularly in order to improve my chess tactics and to eventually make moves more like a grandmaster? I hope you enjoyed this video so far. If you liked this video, I would encourage you to subscribe. Also, if you want to see fun chess puzzles, not so much necessarily for improvement, but also for that for some of you, sure, but more so from an entertaining side of things, I encourage you to check out my Patreon posts. Most of my Patreon posts are actually for free. You can just become a member. You don't even have to become a member on Patreon. You can just click the link and you can see puzzles. I will link one puzzle in the description and in the comments right now. And only if you want to, you can purchase with a membership. Also, you can start a free trial for this, the night rank on Patreon. And with that, you can support me. This is completely optional. This is no pressure. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope I can see you again in the next one. This is it. Bye.